up round four corner hustler stones. Vice lords grew up round Latin King maniacs.
Yo, so gentlemen, prolific. Now in tune to another episode of EO Rating Yo. You know we live on the rec from ICS Records. Next is Minotti. Salute to you, my guy. We got VV Zan in the building. The future of Tampa. You heard it from my voice first. You don't like it, go fuck yourself. You know, we got Stefan somewhere in the room somewhere. Salute to him too. All my EO family, love you forever. I've been getting super blessed and honored on this couch. Pause. With the guests that I've been blessed to have conversations with, people that are really fucking up the game, Tampa legends. So to anyone who has been in tuned, I appreciate you. I appreciate every like, appreciate every conversation you have with me when you see me. Again, I came out of nowhere and just started a fucking podcast, and it's been one hell of a ride. We are on episode 10 right now. Yo, extra salute to Push Supreme. You know what I mean? He didn't have to show up. He showed up. We had a great conversation, so I appreciate you, brother. And shout out to all my fellow podcasters out there in the city. So you baby, destroying shit right now. Salute to you. Can't wait to be on there or her come on here. But my next guest, Long Island native, been fucking up the Tampa scene since he got here, I believe, a little over or under 2 years ago.
It was actually 5 years ago.
Oh, wow. Really been... So I met you. I think I met you when you were here. I met you 2 years ago, so 3 years in.
It was after COVID, yeah.
So 3 years in. Yeah, every time I go on the gram, every time some hip-hop is happening, you know, specifically, most of the time, we're like the spitters in the city. I see his name. I'm proud of him. I'm happy. I've chilled with him on a personal level, just being around, vibing with other artists in the city. Real cool motherfucker. We got Mansion Music 2021. We got Psych 222 2022. And we had Terminate last year. Yeah, I went to Terminate's album release and saw Wally Rio spit live in 2024. Fucking treat. Salute to you, Wally. None other than Psych, Montana.
What's up, baby?
Long Island, bro. You missing home? Missing Adventureland? Missing Luna Park?
Chill about Adventureland, bro. That's crazy.
Missing Luna Park?
I wasn't out there. I was on the South Shore. I was in Bayport.
Okay.
I was in Bayport, but you know, I've been out and around.
How good is the seafood?
Oh my God,
in Long Island?
Probably, honestly, outside of here, probably the only place that I probably would eat seafood. Honestly.
Oh, don't say that. Shout out to Maine. Maine got amazing seafood.
Your Maine is crazy. I've only been to Maine once, but they got fires. I mean, anything on the coast, right? But seafood in Long Island is unreal.
Yo, anybody see my phone? So unprofessional. All right, so this is post-pandemic, right? So you got here during the pandemic or the year right before the pandemic?
Before. The year before.
So you had like a full year though, the year before the pandemic?
I moved here April 2nd, 2019.
April, May, June. Okay, so majority of the year.
I had 11 months pre-COVID.
Right. What brought you to Tampa, man?
Mainly family. My sister went to UT, and then my mom moved down here. So the logic was, you know, be around the family until I could kind of get on my feet out here. Long Island was dumb expensive before COVID, so it wasn't really an option to stay out there at the time. Just with I had gotten out of school in 2017, worked a couple of years, but could not find enough bread to kind of move out on my own. So coming out here, just money made sense, but being around the family primarily. I still got people obviously up in New York and shit.
Last week was have you on, but you was hosting Rock the Park.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
That was dope as fuck. Shout out Joe DeCunto, Broken Mold, for giving me that opportunity to join that. I mean, they've been doing that for, I don't know, like 15 or so years. Sponsored by City of Tampa, Downtown Partnership, Symphonic Distribution.
I thought you worked for Broken Mold.
No, I've been an independent artist my whole life. I mean, I really earned my stripes out here in Tampa. Didn't do a whole lot in the scene in Long Island as nearly as much as I did here. Most of my writing and kind of finding myself was there. But yeah, Rock the Park was really dope. In Transit, My Sweet Basil, and trying to remember the last group that played,
I'm
but
sure you guys did well. You know, he's just
it was. I mean, I just hosted. I didn't perform, but
Yeah.
it was cool to kind of be more on the coordinating and
right.
you know, event management side. You know, that's what I do with my small business, my LLC. It's not just to do the recording side, but really to curate live events as well. So that was really cool to represent Tampa and kind of just be part of something that's been a monthly event for so many years.
Before I get into your relationship with Albert J, what was kind of then your introduction into the music scene being in Tampa? So you were spitting before you got to Tampa.
Yeah. I mean, I've been writing since, you know, like 7th, 8th grade, but I didn't really start performing until I graduated from college. So graduated in 17, couple of years, kind of just hitting the stew, recorded a mixtape called Good Talk, which was on my website. It's down now, but had a mixtape out and really was just
What happened?
you know,
You don't like it? Took it down?
you know, industry beats and rapping over.
Gotcha,
you know what I'm saying? I really only wanted to there were some good songs and good verses on there, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that the music I put out was not on somebody else's beat. Which is fine. I mean, plenty of people have done remixes and stuff, and that's definitely paying respect to, you know, the artists that influence you. But just from a catalog perspective, I wanted to make sure that it was purely, you know, beats that only I rapped over. But yeah, I mean, coming out here, luckily I knew people who had already kind of been out here. Shout out to Cambada, who's definitely creatively one of my biggest influences, but also just business-wise, introduced me to a bunch of people out here and just kind of said, hey, send a bunch of messages, linked up with, you know, some people out here, and, you know, the rest is history from that.
So I since I've known you, I've always seen, you know, the whole, I had seen the Mansion Music, Psych. You feel what I mean? Explain to me how important your relationship with Albert J has been.
I mean, that's my homie. He ugly as shit, but that's the dog. That's my brother. Mansion Music was like the culmination of a lot of different factors, of just a lot of the momentum that we had going, you know, just from being on the scene and working with a bunch of different people. But creatively, there was always something that just clicked. And we're two very different artists. The way we approach songwriting, build concepts, just even flows are just very dynamically different. But we were on the Wave Theory tour back before COVID. And we really creatively like linked there. The song Yesterday on Mansion Music, the last track, was recorded in New York during that tour. We went to C's studio, the Plug Studio. Shout out to C's. And just really, you know, flipped the sample, wrote on site, and that ended up being kind of like the spine of the album, just because from a creative standpoint, that's kind of where it started. And on that trip, we wrote Mask Off. And it really just became like we just vibed.
So you guys were independent artists on the tour?
Everybody was an independent artist. Kind of part of the collective at the time, now dissolved. And
you were in Wave Theory?
Yeah, I mean, there was no paperwork, but it was, you know, that was an affiliation.
Absolutely. I got you. Okay, cool.
You know, the whole crew back then, and shout out to those guys. I mean, we put in a lot of work, and I learned a lot from the people who were who kind of brought me into that, and it was.
So really I don't want to just go. So you're on the tour. I'm assuming you and Albert become cool.
Yeah, no.
And then one day you were like,
high as fuck,
like, let's just do a song. But I mean, on tour, the whole Birth of Mansion was just like, one night was like, let's just write together, or
no? We had another he hit me up and was like, yo, I got this beat. Do you want to write on this? And we ended up not using the beat because it was like a very, very well known sample, and we ended up Unobtainable was the first song we wrote together. We had Lito made a beat that we reapplied those lyrics to, because it's an original song, you know. There's no sample on that, even. That is like purely Lito's organic composition and beat making, and then we were able to transfer those lyrics. But we had a track together that he hit me up and was like, yo, we got to do some shit. We did a couple shows together in 2019, and he was like, all right, like you can rap, you can do this shit, like let's collab. And he was just always like very positive influence, just kind of big bro. You know, he's been down a lot of the roads that I'm on or trying to get to. He's been in the game for a while, and he old as shit. So
yikes.
had to learn from people. But you know, I learned from Mike Mass when he was out here. I learned from Perception. I learned from K3, who was in the collective as well with us, and just kind of, you know, being around other sharp cats from a technical
Perception's nice.
Perception. I mean, and Perception evolved too. He's not just a rapper. You know, he actually produced the beat that I'm going to be releasing soon. Me and Mickey Fax got a track together. So shout out Mickey Fax, produced by Perception. That's going to be coming out. I haven't announced that yet, so you're hearing it first. Here, which is really cool.
That's hard.
But yeah, man, a lot of cool shit in the works, and a lot of good memories and experiences that helped build to this point where we are very much self-sufficient. I got a good team around me who, you know, I think we're ready for war.
So on tour, right? Mansion Music is birthed. Are you seeing your evolution as an artist at this point? What leads to Psych 222?
Interesting. From a catalog standpoint, I got you. So, yeah, Mansion Music was kind of the culmination of just like a lot of uh, energies. I think that Albert and I had kind of felt and experienced throughout time, and not necessarily just together, but like from our own walks. And Mansion Music made sense, high quality, just like devoid of the presentation to others in the sense of like this is what we're doing, how good we're doing it, and more presentation to ourselves of this is why we do this and this is where we're going. So going from that to Psych 222, and Psych 365 is coming out, so I'm still continuing that. That was really more so, okay, we did Psych 101, that was more introspective and kind of like, this is an introduction of me as an artist, different things that I'm capable of, rapping, a little bit of singing, a little bit of poetry. And then Psych 222 is like, Mansion Music was really dope. We both held our own. There's a lot of clashing and a lot of moving in sync on that album, but now it's time to break away and kind of make sure that people know that I can do this by myself from a lyrical hip hop perspective. It wasn't about telling a story. It was strictly about the technical components of me rapping. And I think that the songs that were on there were very indicative of like a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. I have to prove myself. Like y'all have to know that I can hang before I can really start to talk to you. So it was kind of getting some credibility as an MC, I guess I would say was the goal of that one.
Yeah. How do you feel like you as a person evolved during these moments in your personal life? Because most people don't know. I mean, you see the art, you see the music, but we're still human beings. We're still fucking out here trying to figure out sometimes how to pay rent. We're still battling with toxic relationships. We're still dealing with people seeing us just as having a regular job and then not becoming this artist.
Yeah.
So that envy, that jealousy does creep around the corner. Wanting to be successful in this industry, you have to cut ties sometimes, so forth and so on. So in this a span of, let's say, 2 years, how are you developing and saying, you know what, I can really do this shit?
So I had,
later on, we're going to get into the acts that you're even working with now that are just primo acts of talent in general, not just local in Tampa, but, you work with the Nux, that's high quality. You work with Spawn. I saw you working with Spawn. Before I get to that, were you surprised coming to Tampa from Long Island, the quality of shit that's going on in Tampa?
A lot of people think just because you're in New York and everyone thinks who's not from New York thinks it's just New York City. Like Long Island, where I lived, was almost 2 hours away from at the actual city from being where you need to be musically. And I went to college upstate New York. What's up?
Long Island's where the Hamptons is at, right?
I mean, that's like as far out east as you can go.
Long Island, right?
Another hour plus in that direction. So I was smack dab in the middle of the island on the South Shore. So that's Bayport, Patchogue, Babylon. You know what I'm saying?
Pete Davidson vibes, right?
Yeah. With Suffolk County. Actually, I don't know if Pete Davidson's from Suffolk County. I got to check that out. But what is here, and even post-COVID, what you could do as an independent, aspiring artist in Tampa doesn't exist in Suffolk County, Long Island. Gotcha. It's not that it's completely devoid, but hip hop has, rap has a really bad rap out there. I would try to book at a couple of venues and bring Tampa people out there. And the response I basically got was like, I'd rather have no event or lose money on the night than be associated with hip hop, which is really weird because hip hop is like some of the most important people in hip hop history are from and did their work out in Long Island. So
probably got a grease of alderman, bro.
Coming out here was
exactly. Grease of alderman, it's political shit probably.
It's a lot. I mean, look at Public Enemy. Look at EPMD. Look at K Solo and all these people who are pioneers, especially from a lyrical standpoint that took it from just kind of the old school shit. But coming to Tampa, it was like night and day because there's something every single night. Even after COVID, people were, especially in Florida, the liberties that we had out here, this is where it was happening. And in Long Island, you have to go out to the city. You have to kind of know which clubs to go to, and I didn't have anything popping.
That's exhausting. So that's 2 hours away.
To build from scratch, knowing nobody, was kind of tough because I also didn't really have my own sound yet. I was still rapping on YouTube beats or industry beats, and I didn't have my own catalog of music yet. So it was I came out here and I was amazed at like how quickly, just by putting in the footwork, you could meet people and become like a regular and then start to get booked. I mean, I lived here 2 weeks before I had my first show, and I had my first booked show on a flyer type shit 2 months. And haven't looked back since then. I mean, I probably do anywhere from 100 to 200 events a year, whether it's just an appearance on a feature on someone else's set or an open mic or an actual booked paid event. So I love doing it, and because I didn't have that in New York, I never grew tired of it because I remember what it's like being somewhere where that. And I went to college upstate New York. I was in fucking Binghamton, in the middle of nowhere. So
what college is in Binghamton?
Binghamton, SUNY Binghamton. Binghamton is in Vestal. It's a state university, so like Stony Brook or Geneseo.
Like almost a Canada type shit?
No, not that far. So it's in the southern tier, so it was actually an hour north of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So, but like also there, writing and doing music. I used to submit rhymes instead of essays sometimes in college and got A's because I extrapolated good shit from my classes and shit and answered creatively, but I could do that, but I couldn't find an open mic in Binghamton. And the people that I knew were doing music was more on the EDM side. Shout out Starksy, Barnsey, shout out J Malds, KJ Grizzy, like Suddy, just a lot of the people that I was fucking with, musicians and just friends alike. It wasn't like hip hop the way it is out here. It was very trap and EDM oriented.
Very time of the story of its time. Yeah,
yeah,
it was popular at the moment.
And and that was cool. That I kind of liked that because it gave me a bit of edginess in my music catalog today. Just kind of having been surrounded by those types of cats, but coming to Tampa, it was a completely different experience. Like the opportunities that you have out here to be nobody, and then in a couple of months, if you just keep going to other people's events and people know your name and they shake your hand when they come up to see you. And
absolutely,
the city's very supportive. I would say, like even when people clash, there's still a general community sense of like we do need to build up. There's a lot of room for improvement, I think, out here. But if you're learning, this is the place to be. And then once you're ready to really take it to the next level, I think you leave Tampa. I think there are a few people who have become staples here and gatekeepers, and they're pillars of the community, and they've become involved and kind of dug their feet in, and they're able to make a living off of it. But I think that
it's very few that can make a living off of it,
and vice versa. There's very few who have gotten to go with the Doechii. You know, Doechii's a celebrity now.
Gats just signed with Rock
Shout
Nation.
out to Gats. I got a track coming out with Gats pretty soon.
Yeah, I saw his post today. He signed Rock Nation, man. Shit.
Gats. I mean, Gats has always been dope, bro. Gats was another person who, when I met out here over the years, just kind of looked up to him because he's been doing it a lot longer and has been very successful in the way that he's approached it. And I think that he's somebody you look at him from a business standpoint.
Oh, absolutely.
And you just really appreciate, because the music's dope. The music has to be dope, right? That's kind of part of it. You either be dope or it's marketable. But so then
he's very conceptual with his. He's a film head, so he's very conceptual with his videos.
The visuals are great. The style and the fashion is great. Just the clothes and the branding and the logo, the beat selection and just the general atmosphere. I mean, when we did Mansion Music, there was another album of the year from Creative Loafing, and shout out Best of the Bay, Creative Loafing as well. Robbed, and that was my favorite album of the year. Obviously, I love Mansion Music, but if I had to pick something that I really was gonna sit and listen to and like play for other people, I was playing Robbed. It just had a really great vibe. Mansion Music was like, that was a collaborative album, in that we are not a group. We're not Black Star like Most Def and Talib. Like we are.
Surprisingly,
we're just Mansion. It's Albert J and Psych Montano. You know what I mean?
Surprisingly, you guys are not.
What do you mean?
That you guys are not a group like Black Star.
A lot of people have asked, but like, he's got so much content. You know what I'm saying? Like Albert's got albums, and Albert has a classic album. Grow to me is, from a concept standpoint, I think that's the best project out of Tampa that I've heard personally. From front to back, telling a story, sending a message, leaving an imprint, and having something that cannot be replicated. I would say I would give that to Grow, which is a big reason why I fuck with Albert, is because his songwriting ability, I think, is unmatched. I think that there are people who have vibes and can rock crowds and do the stage work and shit, but when you're sitting listening to the album in headphones type shit,
right,
and you really start to appreciate why this song was written, versus this is a banger, this is a bop, this is a groove.
Yeah.
There was a reason he made that album. And when I was done listening to that album the first time, I got it. And I felt like I really experienced it. It was like a movie. It's an hour, I don't know, hour, 40 minutes, something like that. But it is worth every second. Gats did the same thing with Rob. I think I got to know him as a person a little bit through what he was talking about and about his experience as a musician. Mansion Music was like very conceptual on a song-to-song basis to create that larger image of this is what we're building upon. But Mansion Music didn't tell our story, if that makes any sense. We did Heisenberg. We talked about how the music is, we're making the blue meth. You know, we had Unobtainable. We're talking about you should be going after a woman who feels like you never really have her. It's a vibe thing. It's an atmosphere, but it's not a story. And I think that's important to have in your catalog as an individual person, as an artist, is even if you are part of a group, I still want to hear your story.
Yeah.
Even if it's Outkast, I want to learn about Andre and Big Boy. You know, same thing with Mobb Deep. You look at the individual works of these artists, and you get to really see what they're made of.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to be in a band a long time ago. Being in a band is awesome. It's hard to be in a band because you have a lot of other things to consider and
absolutely
give credence to if you want to show respect.
Yeah,
to
my
your
first
friends
run at professional musicianship was I was in a band for like 3-4 years. We toured. It was good.
It's fun as fuck. I mean,
but it's a lot of personalities, a lot of hard decision making,
and with my people,
seeing where the future's going.
We just couldn't get in the same room. We were all in college, and we couldn't make it happen because we were not geographically nearby. So that's a great reason for a band not to work out. Is just life. It's not because there were creative differences. We worked really well together. We had dope tracks. Actually, one of my bandmates is getting married in a couple weeks, so I'll be in New York, and I'm gonna go see him and his people. But this music thing, there's a lot of ways you can come at it, and I just think that you just got to make good music. And if you decide you want to turn that into a business, understand business.
Absolutely.
Songs are not
business behind
products. You know, like I pay a lot of music to be an artist and to be a rapper. Make a lot of my money back by selling clothing and by selling tickets.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's merchant and touring is always really post like
the most basic way
like
to do
2005.
It, right?
Like you ain't making money off selling music for sure. Unfortunately. Take me to the conception of global warming with Nux. Salute to Nux always.
Shout out Nux. I just left the studio and we just made what might be the best beat that I got from him. I mean, he's insane. Global warming was really cool. So it's funny because I've moved away from uncleared samples because eventually I do want to like hopefully be able to have opportunities to license my music, and I don't want to have to pay someone a shit ton of money just to be able to use the sample.
And sampling, just let y'all know, sampling takes a lot of fucking money.
And it's cool. There's nothing wrong with sampling. Just know what you're doing, you know, or know how you're using it.
Danny Brown, one of his albums, he has so much sampling on it. He was explaining how he made zero money, almost went into debt.
Yeah.
Just for the sound. He just loved the project so much, he just wanted to get that out.
It's not your product, it's the marketing tool.
But it was insane, bro. He said he made zero money and almost went in debt with the sampling.
I have my last project that's coming out with Spawn. When I say last, I mean that's the last one that I'm doing. That's with samples that we shouldn't be using. They're known. It's not that we can't get them cleared. It's just this is the game. Do you want to make organic music with good plugins and live drums? Do you want to bring in someone who plays an instrument, or are you just using the electronic systems in the DAW? How do you want to build your catalog? I want everything.
Yeah,
I have to sample music because that's hip hop. I want to make original music because I'm a musician and I play guitar and I sing.
Right.
You can't really do hip hop without having experience with sampling. If your sample is cleared, if your producer is paying a website to have cleared samples to be able to have access to, so that when you buy the beat, it's already cleared, or it's going to cost you X amount after you buy the beat to get it cleared.
Yeah.
You also shouldn't rap over someone else's YouTube beat that you don't have permission to use. Stuff I didn't know when I was in the beginning. I was just like, oh, if this song pops, I'll figure it out later. That's a good problem to have, right? Some of those are not good problems to have.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But for me, it's about making good music. At the end of the day,
Mm.
I don't need to do this. I'm not a starving artist. I have a job to pay my bills. This isn't the only thing that I know. It's just the thing that I'm best at and that I love, and I get competitively, aggressively excited about, because that was why I wrote for 8 years and didn't perform.
Got you.
I literally didn't hit a stage. I rapped for like almost 10 years. Never hit a stage. I didn't think it was worth anybody's time until I got to a point where someone was like, yo, you can spit, like, you got some bars, bro. Like, maybe you should.
So So writing for 10 years.
Yeah, I would say
you
probably
didn't
until I was
feel
24.
like anything in those 10 years that someone will enjoy?
I would never look at someone in the face for shit I was writing when I was 17 and say, you should pay to come see me perform this. The bars and the writing and the beat selection and the song structure and the quality of the product wasn't worth somebody else's time to me. I think that's a very harsh look, but that's how I felt.
Sure.
I was I put thousands of dollars in the studio finessing my craft and practicing different ways of songwriting, and never released any of that music because I knew it was what I needed to do to get to the next level in my creative career and my creative journey, to be able to be like, you need to hear this. So Global Warning, Nux. Okay. Heard that beat at a show at Sunnyside South. Shout out Dillman. It was one of the Sunnyside South shows at Tiki Hut. And he played a beat during his beat set. Nux did. And I was like, I gave him the look from across the room. I was like, what the fuck is that? He's like, it's just some shit that I sampled. You know, I don't know.
Hard ass beat.
He would not. He was like, I was going to trash this one.
No.
I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. Give me that. Before you throw it in the garbage, let me do something. And I just blacked out on that shit. I mean, to me, bar for bar, that's probably the best single piece of content that I think that I've put out, and probably one of, if not the best beats that I've ever rapped over. And that was January 1st of this year. That's how I wanted to kick it off, is that even if you have more streams, I mean, a lot of people have more streams than me. Even if you have more streams than me, if you have better connections in the industry, this, that, or the other, I can't say that I've physically met and had a long interaction with somebody that I think that could out-rap me. I could at least hang. If I can't beat you, I could at least put up a good fight.
Okay.
And I don't think that there's been one person that I've come across that, like, bar for bar, I could not stand next to. You know, I met J. Cole, but we didn't really have a long conversation. I wouldn't say that I've met J. Cole. He don't know who I am. Right. You know what I mean? I've seen him. Hey, what's up, Cole? Dapped him up.
That's dope.
At a concert type shit. You know, I've talked to some people, but that's what it was always about for me. That's why I rapped for 8 years, didn't show anybody. If I'm not unfuckwittable, it's not even worth introducing myself to you.
Word.
And I almost stopped because I felt like I'd never get there, but because of my cousin who rapped and who is better than everybody but doesn't do the artist thing.
One of them.
Yeah, he writes 4 things a year. It's better than anything you've ever heard. And then he's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he's that good. I mean, he really is that impressive. But I had to be better than him.
Right.
Or at least as good. Because if I wasn't, why the fuck would I bother and waste your time and these guys' time if I'm not rapping like my life depended on it when it comes to the writing and to laying it down on wax and paying all that money and doing all that fucking effort if it's not the best possible thing that I can do. And I've written trash songs, plenty of trash songs.
We all have.
But
real artists,
you get a couple good pieces, yeah.
Real artists always miss that. You know, it's funny you said that because I was watching a video. Kendrick Lamar was at Big Boy Radio, and he asked him what was the wackest song he ever wrote. And
what did he say?
And he pulled it up, bro. It was still on YouTube.
Was it like a K-Dot track?
It was an old track. But yo, he legit. Yeah, I found that shit dope. He actually was like, "Yo, go look for it. It'll still be on YouTube." They played it on air. And he was having a good time with it. Yeah, I mean, he was having a good time with it. So I thought that was ill.
Oh, I love listening to like trash tracks mostly the trash tracks that I've put out, because I got plenty of stuff that's garbage that I'll listen to and laugh at that will never see the light of day. But I got a couple bad songs out there that are just, I listen to and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
But you know what? You need that, because I didn't always feel this way about, like, when it comes to, I look at it like rap, like basketball. Like, I will step on the court and I'm gonna hoop type shit. Back then, like, even especially when I first got here, like 2019, 2020, even going towards Mansion Music, did not have the confidence and the conviction to walk the walk and like hang out with the big people in the city, because
for sure.
You can have bars, but if you don't believe it when you say it, and if you're timid and you're unsure of yourself, like, you don't have a place in the game.
No.
Even if you make introspective, quieter, you know, if you're a shy person, none of that matters. If you speak with passion and you speak with conviction and emphasis on how real you're trying to be, people are going to fuck with your shit. You could be singing, you could be doing R&B. If it feels real, there are plenty of people who don't have good bars, but they're a vibe. Like,
oh, for sure.
And they believe what they're saying. They're jumping around and they're fucking throwing chairs over, but it's not an act. You can feel it when you're seeing somebody on stage or in the booth and you see videos of them and you hear the way that they speak with the lyrics and the words that they put down on paper. And I think that's that it factor, right? When you just really believe to the point where people are like, how you kind of start to question. It's like, wow, this person, they know, they know that this is what they should be doing. I see plenty of people who can rap good and I could just feel it. And I used to be one of those people of just like, I don't really think people like me. I don't care anymore.
No,
you know,
no, you can't. No, and being an artist is more like being able to write a song doesn't make you an artist. Like,
a lot of people can rap, not everybody spits, right?
No,
I can pick up a guitar right now and try to shred, but I'm not Jimi Hendrix.
Right. I always use. What up, Smooth? How you doing, brother?
Oh shit.
I always use the analogy, like, me and you could go play a pickup game of basketball. We know how to play the game of basketball.
That don't mean I'm gonna be dunking on you.
That doesn't make us professional basketball players. we're in the league just because we know how to play the game of basketball.
Correct.
So like just because you could write,
And it's not always about getting to the league either. That's another thing. Listen, there's only one Drake. There's only one J. Cole. There's only one Kendrick.
Yeah.
There is no next whatever. You have to be you. And I think that there's an infinitesimally small chance that I will get to a Drake level or a Kendrick level
you don't
or
need
a
to,
J.
though.
Cole level.
Yeah.
I don't need to because I care enough about the product that I am very
And you still can
confident.
make a living. You still can make a tour. You still can do very well.
If I got to do one tour, like
You
real
feel me?
tour, where I'm the headlining artist, maybe with a couple other cats in those cities or whoever's on my tour
Yeah.
with me, and I'm able to like not work for a year,
Mhm.
I think I can say at that point, I made it in the sense that I accomplished what I set out to do. I was able to build enough of a following online. I was able to build enough of a following to like get the validation and get back what I put into it type shit. And then like I could stop there and I'd be fine. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But I think that is kind of like in my head the goal. Like I get to go do 20 to 40 cities in a year or on tour, whatever the case is, however long. And I get to come back and I'm not down on bread. I might have actually made money. I was able to sell merch and meet people.
You will, bro. You will.
And
yeah, you will.
I could look back and remember 17-year-old Psych who was afraid to fucking go in front of people and waste their time and be like, I got you. We you know, that's it's for me. That's the gimmick of my name, Psych. Is yes, it's kind of like psych, like whatever, but and not just psychology because I have a degree in psychology, but it's that mental shift of that's why I have this fucking thing. There's meaning to this besides it's from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Mike at my day job. I'm normal, kind of keep to myself type person, head down, and I make noise because I'm in sales, so I'll bang on the table when I make a sale, but I'm just trying to do my job, and then I get to evolve and completely be a different person that defies all rules in physics. I get this track right here, this plan. I get to say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not like hateful or like overtly cat, then no one really fucking bothers me. And I've said some crazy shit on songs that I probably should never have said.
Yeah.
I didn't get in trouble for it, so you know what? That's pretty fucking cool. But being Psych and being to like getting to like literally be a comic book character, like a different person, because it's still me, but it's not me. I can't talk to people in my job or in life the way that I talk to the beat. I talk dirty to the beat. The beat is everything. I've heard probably like 100,000 beats in my life, sitting through YouTube type beats, listening to people's instrumentals, industry shit, and just it's an addiction. And listening to finding the right one to write to and spend 3, 4, 6, 10 hours of my day going away. I mean, it's the competitive edge.
For sure.
That's all I want out of it. And I think the validation would be enough people like that I do that would buy a ticket or like come see me at a show or on a tour or buy it, you know. I had someone in Baltimore buy one of my t-shirts and said, I found out about you through Ricky 50 through his page.
That's dope.
Can I get some merch? You got some merch? And I just sent it to her. I didn't even charge her. I was just like, you know what? Now I got a fan in Baltimore. Do me a favor. Tell people that you fuck with my music.
Absolutely.
And that's payment enough.
Bro, that's the 6 degrees of separation. That's the little seed that you water and it grows. I see the MF Doom ring. You an MF Doom fan?
No, I hate him. It's trash, of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's, you know, Doom, Cambada, J Electronica. I mean, these guys were doing something special with the beats and with the lyrics, and it wasn't about the being famous, right? Look how long it took for J Electronica to put out an album.
For sure.
MF Doom, to me at least, and I'm sure a lot of other people, is like the underground rap god. He's at the throne. He is the dopest and most authentic to like himself as an artist that I think I've ever seen from a hip hop rap perspective. Like,
I put Slug up there too. Atmosphere from Slug.
Absolutely.
Atmosphere.
Absolutely.
I put him up there too. Because he was on the ground before underground was a thing. That whole rhyme series. There's a
million guys, but like MF Doom specifically is an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's dope achieving something in life, like creating a symbol that whenever you see the Wu W, you know it's Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you see that mask, you know it's Doom.
Right.
You know, it's just like
that's the legacy. You know, that's the validation. You're not just an artist. You are culture. You're not part of culture. You are a movement of culture.
Your own
that's
wave.
why guys like Kanye West are so important to music and fashion and just like pop culture in general, not just hip hop and rap culture. Jay-Z, you know, and this is where these guys get to take their brands. Is that the music is the marketing. That's the vibe. That's the soundtrack to the business. the music is and hasn't been for a very long time, if ever. The music was never the product. Like you said, people make music and end up going broke over it if they didn't clear the samples. That's the package that your product goes in. So I can take a song like Global Warning and walk into a cipher circle. That's all that is my entry ticket. That's my wristband.
Yeah.
How I conduct myself once I'm in that circle, who I network with, how I build connections and relationships. That's the product. That's when if I were to ask someone for a loan to go do a tour, so that and I know that the money's going to come back, the music is it's my selling point.
For sure.
You can't hear me rap and tell me I can't rap. You don't have to like my music. My music's not for everybody. I'm not all about making bangers and party music and getting on the radio, which is fine. I just want to rap as best as I can on each beat and bar. There's no filler. Every single syllable has a space.
Yeah.
And that's really all.
Where does the competitive thing come from? Just been like that since you was a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I was an athlete. I played baseball and basketball. And then being a corporate salesperson, there's just there's an adrenaline rush when you get someone on the phone and you make a sale or you book a meeting and that turns into a big client. Like,
Psych on Wall Street face over here. I see.
It's kind of like
Psych on Wall Street.
We're not selling stocks. Like I said, I do IT consulting sales, so like it's also harmless. There's no moral risk involved. I'm not selling insurance. I'm not selling pharmaceuticals. I'm selling a person's skill set to fix your corporate software.
Yeah.
Harmless.
Yeah.
In turn, high risk, high reward. I spent a long time cultivating relationships, and if I make 10 sales a year, I'm doubling my income. So
tell me the story of working with Spawn, man.
I mean, I've known Spawn since 2019, since I moved out here, met him through mutual friends, and always like vibe with each other on a creative level, music level, heard a lot of his beats, stuff that he had done with people, and then something just kind of changed in me where I wanted to move away from a lot of the music that I was writing because I got stuck in a pattern, and it was like the same types of songs, the same types of hooks, the flows were similar, the beats sounded the same, and I was like, I need somebody who's gonna make me some hip hop shit.
Yeah. And
he was the first person I thought of, and I was like, I've known this dude for mad years. Let me hit him up.
Tampa legend, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got his catalog and his beat library is virtually unmatched. I mean he's got the hits, and this project that we're working on, Skeleton Key, that was really the first time, and this goes back to like mid last year, where we on a creative level started like really working together regularly. Skeleton Key is that's my like section 80. Okay. That is the foundation of my catalog. It's my first full-length album where it's not like a 7-track EP like Psych 101, Psych 222. It's not a collaboration project like Mansion Music where that was a 50-50 effort. This is the first time where I really orchestrated a project. I had specific people on specific beats to contribute to the storyline, told my story and my background, and from a songwriting level, I needed somebody who understood, like, I don't want to say commercial, but I feel like Spawn has a very good ear for like more relatable types of beats. A lot of people are on the grimy shit. They want to have bops and this and that, but Spawn makes classic, timeless ass music. So I needed that element of this to tell the right story and really get away from myself. Because this project, I don't show off at all. Like Psych 222 was all word flips and wordplay and rhyme schemes, and everything was symmetry where everything rhymed with everything. I'm telling a story on this one, so like
making good joints, making just good music.
Exactly.
Good
and
music.
Like he was sending me beats, and I was like, "Yo, all of these kind of have like a vibe that I could really like let loose on and kind of be a little vulnerable on." And he went to town, and
you guys were at 5 Studios.
We're recording that at 5 Studios. Yeah,
the best studio. Any artists out there?
Yeah,
5
shout out
Studios
Brendan Porter.
Hard.
5 Studios, Ebor. I mean, it's all of the pieces are in play. I think this is the first time that I've put out a project that I mainly orchestrated for the most part in terms of,
conceptually.
Yeah, this was very much
Why Skeleton Key? I don't mean to interrupt. What?
Took a long time to get to that too. That kind of came as a result of the building of the project. So the types of songs I was writing about my family, about my like depression, about my debt for my student loans. That's the biggest song on the album, I think.
Good old capitalism, man.
It'll get you.
Student loans are a bitch.
But Skeleton Key was actually coincidentally a concept that came up multiple times in the writing process by accident. Just like, I don't know if you know what a skeleton key is, but it's, something that can unlock pretty much any lock. Yeah, it's a master key. And typically, in order to obtain one, you need to either go to great lengths or sacrifice a great deal in order to obtain one. So
you're going over your sacrifices in the track.
I've already done so.
That's dope.
Right? I'm still fucking here.
Yeah,
and I dealt with a lot of shit to be able to get to this point. So Skeleton Key is like me realizing that I had it the whole time. It's not me going to get it. It's me acknowledging that through the struggle and through the rebirth and through the trial and error, that I got everything that I already wanted. I made the good friends. I made bad friends, but I needed that to be who I am today as a person. And then as an artist, a little bit more rugged, but like much more positive outlook on what I can get out of the experience, which is I need to make good music that makes people feel something, whatever that is. No pandering shit, no hit making. The beat makes me write. And all of Spawn's beats on this project made me write a song. I didn't sit down and like, I need to write a smoking song. I need to write a song about women. I just was sitting on my couch and ready to go out and tell my friends I can't come out tonight because it hit me. The light just refracted through the window properly that day, and I was listening to the beat and I was like, okay, I got a line. Let's do this. And it just kept happening, and that skeleton key concept it kept coming back. And it just became, I realized in the writing process, I was like, that's the concept right there. That's what we build on. What does that mean? What is it? Define it, give it some sort of tangible elements to it. And is it important? Do I use it? Can I use it? What does that mean? And where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So I think where the album really leaves off is just, acknowledge the blessings. I think that's the most important part of that. And the beats, the music made me get to that point because I got away from writing music for fun for a while. I was writing music because I was trying so hard to be relatable and make hits and do all this stuff. And it was actually Perf, came up to me one day and he was like, this was supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Not that we weren't having fun, but like he reminded me like making music and being on the scene and being dope and meeting dope people. That is the goal.
Yeah,
not being famous.
There's a meme. I'm assuming it was from an up and coming artist, or maybe I don't know, buddy. So I don't want to, maybe he is, maybe he ain't. But he said, "I got to making music not to figure out algorithm." You know what I mean?
I'm here to make music.
Just to make it. I'm not here to figure out. I just want to make music.
That's literally it. And like, if there is a business move for that, cool. I'm definitely trying to figure that side of it out. But
I will say this, bro. We live in an era that's a beautiful thing. That every niche of hip hop has its fans because of the internet. You could have, you can make a living doing music.
Oh yeah.
Look at what Griselda showed us, that bringing back, gangster golden era hip hop. Going back to having a business plan at merch. His merch got hot probably more before he got hot because the shit was just so ill. But I find I'm a music fiend, bro. So I find if it's dudes in Delaware, if it's trap, I'm from Chicago. If it's drill, but I'm also from Chicago, so I grew up. My trinity is Lupe, Kanye, and Common.
Of course.
But then you had the Sosas come after that, the King Louis. Before that, it was Twister. They got signed in '92 to Loud Records, the first dude signed from Chicago to Loud Records, which Loud Records went on to have like Fat Joe, I believe. I think Bulldogs and Harmony were on there for a little bit too. Whatever. Classic. But I mean, I grew up in an era where you could get that style of Twista, fucking insane style. Then you had the super conscious. Then you had always the gangster there. But in the era we live in, man, everybody has from Larry June to fucking Dave East to all the young boys coming up in other eras creating their own. Look at fucking how drill music went from Chicago and then to London. Now it's it's a New York thing. So it's insane to me to see where hip hop's at. I come from an era where my big brother would bring me tapes. And to me, that shit was gold because there was no internet. You sat in a room, you listened to I remember the first time we were talking about Slug, I heard Dancing with the Devil. I mean, Immortal Techniques, Dancing with the Devil. I remember where I was at. I remember I was in a room with like 3 other people and we listened to that shit 800 times, bro. 800 times I listened to that fucking song the first time I heard
Dance
it.
with the Devil is arguably the best storytelling hip hop song ever.
And then you had Slug had the Angel and the Devil. You ever heard that joint? So he's in a room, and there's this woman in the room with him that's completely beautiful. She's a virgin, and he's trying to understand why she's a virgin. And she has these 2 tattoos on her. One's an angel and one's a devil. And as he's rapping, he explains how he's in this room with this woman, these tattoos come to life and they start fucking her. And now he understands why she's a virgin, because she's experiencing this crazy lyricism, crazy storytelling.
Right.
It's up there with Dance with the Devil.
Yeah.
It's what made
Dance with the Devil, Renee, Lost Boys, Stan,
Common, hip hop, describing her as a woman. I Gave You Power, Nas, The Gun, talking about The Gun.
The Cool Lupe.
Yeah.
Working like a reverse archaeologist, except his buried treasure was sunshine, bro. He snapped.
Yo, I'm sorry, bro. That fucking Cool as the Food and Liquors album cover to me is one of the most classic album
Food
covers.
and Liquor. I was just talking
time.
to Nux at the stew before. I said if you put a gun to my head and said what's the best hip hop album ever, I would probably say Food and Liquor with a gun to my head, because you can't. For the time that was at 2006. The time that came out,
first intro joint of the
god, it's just
spoken word. The whole fucking album skit free, man.
Perfect.
Skit free.
It's a perfect out, like Kick Push, bro.
Yeah,
that was the first hip hop instrumental I ever heard.
Oh, classic too.
Just like, because my cousin was like, tell me if you ever heard this," and I was like, "No," and he's like, "This is the beat of a song. It's not the song; it's just the beat." And that's when I discovered instrumentals and when I started thinking about writing, and he showed that was one of the first beats I ever wrote to.
Kick and Push?
Kick Push, yeah. Kick Push was just the production value of that, and the cinematic vibe that it gives you with the strings and the horns and everything. Yeah. I mean, it's
in hip hop. Well, I mean, for the golden era, most of those guys will tell you the greatest hip hop album was Illmatic. That's like a common theme, right?
I love Illmatic. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the greatest hip hop album of all time. But it probably has the most some of the most iconic
that
beats.
golden era. Those guys you talk to, they're gonna tell you.
I mean,
that's
their
favorite. But check this out: Nas was on Drink Champs, and they asked him who they thought was the next Nas. Now, this is Nas speaking. You know what I mean? And he's like, the guy I thought was gonna like be the next me was Lupe Fiasco.
I can see.
That's when Lupe was chilling with Jay and everything, bro. Lupe was hot.
Lupe lyrically, bar for bar, Lupe is.
I still don't think he gets the respect he deserves, but
he
creatively made commercial hits too, bro. Like he made commercial hits.
Of course, he just creatively went. There are sometimes I'm listening to like newer Lupe Fiasco songs, and I don't really know what he's talking about. It's not that the bars aren't there, but I have to do so much background research.
Yeah, he does.
Listen, I'm a reference ass motherfucker. Like I say obscure shit, but sometimes I feel like he's one of those people who's too smart for his own good. But at the same time, like I said, gun to my head, that's probably it. And bar for bar, I don't think that there's really, when Lupe's in his bag in prime Lupe, I don't think there's anybody who could look at Lupe and be like, I'm better than you.
When's
he's the best. Like, it really is.
What's the projection for Skeleton Key? Later this year or next year?
It's gonna be this year. It's gonna be this year. Getting really more so. I mean, it's done. Still in like the mixing mastering phase, but it's more so the live production. We're not doing just like a kind of a local whatever show, and I shouldn't say local whatever show because like I mean every album release kind of has a special element to it, but mansion music level. So this is going to be suit and tie at a theater. Orchestra, mini orchestra behind me, strings, guitar, bass, keys, backup singers, drums. Maybe some choreo. I don't know. Less opening acts and really more so just like a grandiose execution of the production of the presentation, because this is my favorite content that I'm going to be releasing, and it's hard to do some of this stuff. I'm very, very raw on this shit. Like I talk about shit that like a lot of people don't know about me or like about where I come from or like some of the things that I've dealt with. So it's uncomfortable for sure, but
very vulnerable releasing it for sure.
Yeah. Because like I mean, we were a little vulnerable on Psych 101. Thundercloud talking about my depression and
I'm not gonna hold you. I just heard Psych 222. I didn't know there was a 101.
It's not it was Psych 101. That was
Spotify.
That was it is.
It is.
It's there. It's all there.
Well, I looked, brother.
It's all there.
I'm pretty good on my research.
That was the first project that I put out, like officially. Again, shout out Symphonic Distribution. I've been working with them a few years now, and it's been a great experience. Makes my life really easy. Psych 101, Mansion Music, Psych 222, Terminate, and then Skeleton Key, Psych 365 will come out March 6th of next year. That has a date. So that's another 7-track EP. I think every song is a different producer.
7 tracks pushing the EP, man. We'll make 2 more songs.
Seven is the number between album and EP.
No, I know.
So,
I know.
Yeah, 6 EP,
I'm saying, but why not
album.
make 2 more songs? Make it an LP.
7 is that's my number. That's the God number, right?
Yeah.
So 7 is.
I don't like long albums personally, so
Skeleton Key is 13 tracks.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I don't think
That would be the standard back in the day.
Yeah,
the minimum 13. Kanye changed that shit to doing only 4 or 5 songs.
There's been this big thing in the industry of like 20-something track albums.
No,
again.
that's insane. That's old school.
Listen, Busta Rhymes is one of my favorite ever. And as a matter of fact, Extinction Level Event 2 is probably the album I listen to most these days.
Yeah. He don't get his just due sometimes.
But his last album produced by Swizz Beatz was not it.
Gotcha.
And it was 20-something or 18, 22
No, it's a lot of songs, bro.
West Side Gun, their album with all those features and everything, 20-something songs. Drake, 20-something songs. Yeah. I gotta be honest. Eminem, 50 songs, Music to be Murdered by Side 1 and 2.
That's them, though. You know, that's
how many of those songs are in regular rotation? How many of those songs are people regularly listening to? Like, look at an album like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I love every song.
It's my favorite Kanye album.
I love every single piece of music that's on that album. Look at Black Album, Jay-Z. Every song is perfectly executed as a victory lap type album.
Blueprint,
Food and Liquor, Blueprint.
Yeah.
Illmatic. My favorite Nas albums are It Was Written and Lost.
You know what's crazy, bro? Me and my shout out to Monster, man. We always get into this conversation, bro. I love It Is Written, and people were like, "That's a trash album." I was like,
what?
Bugging. No, that's a common thing with
hip hop. I don't know who you're talking to. Oh my god.
No, I'm telling you, I like It Is Written better than Illmatic.
No, me too. Me personally, 100%.
That's arguments all the time. That's the only album they really.
Illmatic, I think, is my favorite. Like,
no, but that was overall at the time. I'm like older than
hip hop album. Like, that's the quintessential hip hop album.
Yeah, I'm a little older than you though. Like,
or Mobb Deep.
At that time, it wasn't received very well. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't received. No, it was written. No,
I'm just saying. There's both of those projects, and they're in that bag of just like classic. And
albums. Illmatic came out after Mobb Deep's first album. It came out like I think that same year, little short. Can you imagine being
on the Infamous? They were just so ahead of their time.
Mobb Deep, and then Nas comes.
95, man. 95 was that year.
Queens right there, off from Queensbridge. That's just wild, bro. Because them niggas was rapping like nobody else rap. People don't understand. Like there was Rakim came, and then that gave the birth to Nas. And when people understand the importance, that's like
Long Island,
for
bro.
future people. Yeah, for sure.
Long Island.
Yo, shout out, yo.
And Rakim's
one of my.
Rakim is probably like.
Rakim is one of them dudes.
He's the lyrical, the definitive. He's Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rakim he invented virtually I feel like being a barsmith when you're using flows and cadences in tandem with very dope, deeper or more psychologically bending lyrics. When you morph those two things, you're really doing something special. And I think Rakim was probably the first one who was so high level at that because he wasn't,
But he's changed complete style. It's like Steph Curry came to the league. No one was rapping like that when Rakim came out.
Right.
There was some Run DMC type style. Like, And that
was the other side, was when the rock and the rap world were blending, and you have the Beastie Boys, Run DMC. But yeah, Rakim was just, I mean, he was rapping like Coltrane was playing playing trumpet, you know?
Yeah. And then he later on in the, he came out with, what's ours, what, the 18th letter, whatever the album was called? The 18th, the 17th or 18th letter for Rakim.
Yeah.
But he came out with that album, and that album was insane, bro. That was like 99, 98. The album came out maybe a little later.
He had good production. That's the other side of it. You need good beats.
Fire, bro. At his age to do that was insane. But yeah, but anyway, but going back to...
He also grew up listening to, you know, soul and...
Yeah. Well, most of that, you know, because that's where the sample came from. Yeah, that's where the sample came from at that time.
That's exactly what it needed. And, you know...
He tells a story, bro, of when he wanted to rap the way he wanted to rap. Like, the first time he did it in the studio, they're like, hey, bro, you sure? Like, they kept interrupting him, like, as he was spitting his verse. And he'd be like, yo, just let me just hear it first. Like, let me just get it out the way I want to get it out, and just listen to it and to see where it goes. But if people listen to them, that's where that innovation and crazy just are always there. Because sometimes innovation like take you to that next level, and then you need somebody to tell you, yo, you just being crazy right now. That shit's whack. but it's always very a thin line.
You just have to have the vision. I feel like not a lot of things in music necessarily happen by accident. You get lucky, but you have to put yourself in lucky situations, right? So that if you want to be a relevant artist, go to every event that you possibly can get your hands on. Go buy a ticket, buy a piece of merch from somebody once in a while. Tip 35% for the bartenders every time you go, and eventually somebody's going to ask you,
business, bro.
"Who the fuck are you? Like, why are you here all the time?"
Yeah,
yo, I do this, blah blah blah. Next thing you know, you're the people that people are going to for advice on where to be because you have been. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you lived. I mean, this year alone, you did. Was it Battle Rumble? Right.
Battle Rumble at Crowbar. Shout out Mega Ran for getting me on that.
I see you.
We got a track coming out too. Me, Mega Ran,
that's hard.
Produced by Wally Rios.
That's super.
It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, that's in the mastering
to them
phase
boys.
right now.
That's pretty cool. You're out a lot, as you said. What are some of the more memorable performances? You came out to my shit last year, which I appreciate.
Of course, bro. Hooch, yeah, it was
thanks
dope.
for coming out to that was last year too. Now you came out to the show before that in July at the Trap Room. You killed that shit.
At Trap Room.
That was dope too. That Thor Hammer line always gets me to this day.
That's a good verse. I love that verse.
And I appreciate you coming out to my events too, bro. Just in general.
Of course,
that shit means a lot.
But yeah, I mean,
some of your most memorable moments.
I think I would say like Battle Rumble was a very, very special night because I didn't really know what I was walking into. I didn't grow up watching wrestling, so like kind of getting to see what that crowd was like was really cool. And truth be told, I didn't realize how big it was in Tampa.
Yeah,
and being part of an event that was kind of celebrating the weekend of events that was about to come up and learning about the wrestling culture because again, that's not. I had nothing to do with that growing up. It was not something.
It's a real culture, bro.
But
it's a real culture.
The energy and the what I learned about like the competitive nature of it from even a fan standpoint, it's just like any other sport, and it kind of loosened me up a little because I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't really know too much about wrestling, so I don't know if I'm going to fit in at this type of shit. And AJ Francis, those guys came out, and it was just really cool to see like the core fan base come out to that, and then for me to get to do my thing, and for me to share Global Warning, and for me to do a song from Terminate, Crime Wave from Wally Rios, and to get received so well because I'm in my rap villain year. A lot of the shit that I've been working on outside of Skeleton Key has been very bar heavy, very aggressive in like step on the court and try to cross me up. It's a challenge. I really don't think that there's too many people who could step in front and fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
And to be able to see that received well in Crowbar, the mecca of Ybor for hip hop and for metal, and for just a lot of underground independent artist shit. Like that was a very rewarding experience. And shout out Mega Ran, shout out all the producers, Spawn, and everybody who were on the beat battle. Soy, who won the beat battle. Shout out to Tom as well, just for like letting things like that happen in that space. That was a really, really dope event and kind of eye opening to like keep your eyes and ears peeled for like stuff that you're not necessarily involved in, because maybe if I wasn't an aggressive ass rapper and had the bars, maybe I might not have been invited out to that type of event.
Right.
So it was also like validating of like, do the shit that feels right and that feels good. I like doing aggressive bar heavy rap. I just also want to make timeless, great music and maybe make someone shed a tear, and also run the track back because the line was so hard that they have to hear it again. Like that's
I tell people it's special
it.
because sometimes people demonize like commercial music, but it's like it's a beautiful thing when someone's playing your music at a quinta or a wedding, or at every barbecue or family reunion, or it gives them a meaning that goes beyond they remember on some of the most fondest moments of life. They know that song was being played, and when they hear it, it does something to them. You know,
like Seek Patience. That's a song from Psych 101. That's something that like I don't perform it as much as I used to, just to give some of the new shit some life. But that's a track that people always come back and they're like, "Yo, like that hits me every time." Like that's just one of those tracks that I think will remain present in my catalog for a long time because there was a message there.
One of the gems.
Yeah, it was just the beat was right, the vibe was right, my headspace to write that at the time. I had just moved out here. It was pre-COVID. It was important for me to do a track like that because it doesn't age poorly at all. There's a lot of songs that I've released both while in Tampa and before, features that I've done that I just like, I feel like they don't represent me super, super well. But that's why I try to I go and I write in waves. I'll write for like 4 or 5 months and then I won't write for like 4 or 5 months. Because I need to get inspired. I need to listen to some new music. I need to watch some good movies, pick up a good TV show. maybe travel a little bit, and maybe eat something different somewhere. Just kind of like refresh the toolkit a little bit.
Yeah, Swell World has a joint called Belgian Waffles in Belgium.
What?
Swell World has a song called Belgian Waffles in Belgium. Like, he actually was in Belgium and ate Belgian waffles.
Nice. That shit
Super
is different.
hard.
You know what I'm saying? That
Super
shit is different.
hard,
I gotta check that out.
Super
shout out
hard.
Swell World, man. He crushed the verse on our track that we're doing with.
He said something
Mega
very I found very flattering in reference to you. He's like, when I was interviewing him, he was saying that when he got into the game, started making music, that the people he wanted to get the most attention from was from you, Albert J, and some other people. Like, that's what he wanted to.
Damn, that's
the
crazy.
circle he wanted to be in. Like, when he was entering it, you feel me?
That's crazy.
And I was like, that's
I'm really glad we got to work together, because he always came correct and trying to work together. Like, a lot of people try to collab with me, and some people don't always present themselves in the right way, or they're asking for favors, or they're kind of demanding that you work with them.
Yeah.
And he always,
it's very organic.
It was extremely organic. And then we started randomly, after we started, like, we linked and we started talking directly, we started accidentally doing shows together and getting booked for a lot of the same shit. And then I started going to his shows. He started coming to my shit, and I was just like, yo, this dude is like he's straight up as fuck. Like, Swellrel is the most himself compared to a lot of people. I feel like they're still trying to present an image. He's just him, bro.
Yeah.
And his shit vibes crazy hard. The nerdcore shit is not a joke. Like, he's definitely holding down a piece of hip hop culture, which is video games and references to video games. There's a whole ecosystem unto itself, but he does it in a way that's and anime and wrestling, exactly. That is very real and very authentic, and he raps his ass off.
Yeah, he can spit. And
I didn't know that when he came out here.
I know you're already fucking up the Tampa scene. I see you're going to Orlando pretty soon.
Yep, March 28th, Nux is going to be there. Spana's going to be there. I got the flyer yesterday, so getting ready to post that. But staying active, bro.
Did Orlando yet?
Yeah, I've done a couple things in Orlando. I'm actually trying to get something popping for July for myself and my brother Marcel P. Black. Shout out Marcel, who's very much been like a mentor, like big bro, and just kind of giving me some game on how shit works for real in the music game, and hoping to get him out there when he comes out to Tampa. He's got some shows coming up. P. Butter, got a song coming out with P. Butter out of Orlando.
Nice.
Really dope cat.
A mean Orlando.
Shout out
guy.
Animal House. Yeah, but bro, I mean, I very rarely work with people who can't spit. And if they can't spit, it's because they can sing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Or they add something to the vibe of the song. But all the bar spitters, I'm not one of those, like, I need to do my own thing. I'm probably never gonna have an album that goes platinum with no features type shit like J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like collabing with people because they keep me sharp. Being around people like Nico Sweet, Perception, Asaru, like, there are people who just make me want to be better as a writer, because they're just
and all those people you mentioned are very artistic too. Like, they actually have, like,
there's
you
substance
see them
to their music,
and you see, okay, this makes sense. The mouth is coming from. Let me ask you this, bro. Right now, the past 6 months, what's really grinding your gears, bro? Let me give you an example. Next is
in music or in life?
In life, bro. Okay. I went to the gas station. This happened to me 3 times already, bro. I don't know who the fuck goes to the gas station and takes the hose and twists it 35 times, bro. So then when I pull it out,
like a vacuum,
I gotta be fucking
oh my God,
undoing it. Gas is splitting everywhere, and I can't get it inside my fucking car, bro. It's fucking annoying. Who does that? Who goes to the gas station and walks around in circles and then puts the hose back, bro?
What really?
At this point, I don't know if somebody trolling or what, bro.
What pisses me off more than anything in 2024 is people not being direct. I feel like whether it's music, whether it's relationships,
for that, bro. I'm too direct, bro.
But that's the thing, right? Is
we're
that,
adults,
like,
bro.
We're grown ass adults.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Even if you're fucking 22 years old, if you want something, say it or go and get it. Don't beat around the bush. If you don't want something, don't beat around the bush. Like, and this is especially in the underground music game. I get so many people who are like trying to insinuate something, or like they want to work but they don't want to talk about money.
And you're pretty, like, I've done business with you. You're pretty cool, bro. Not major, but you know what I mean. Like,
and I don't bust heads either. Like, I'm not gonna tell you $10,000 for a verse. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I don't know you through a hole in the wall, I have to charge you a price, because I can't just let everyone be my inner circle, because then it's not an inner circle.
Right, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how business should work. You should if you believe in somebody and if you have a mutual interest or goal, you should help your people out.
Right.
And on the flip side, if somebody wants to work with you who don't know you, you better be charging even if you're new and fucking fake it, because that's how all of fucking business works. Not everybody's a pro or an expert, but it's the same thing with, I feel like, both on the men and the women's side. You're not being real with what you're really after. Just say it.
Yeah.
If you don't want a relationship, if you want a relationship, if you don't want to link with a certain person and do business with them, if you don't want to hang out with a certain group of friends, say it.
Yeah.
Don't be weird to people to see if they pick up on, because you're too much of a pussy to just actually say what the fuck you feel.
For sure.
It's very fucking simple. Hey, excuse me, I don't want to be here. Can I go home now? Like, it's that simple. You know how many times I've left events because I just don't want to be there? It's not disrespectful to the people throwing those events. I'm fucking tired, bro. You know how much time I haven't been home since 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
That's great because I went to the work and then I went to the studio and then I came here and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere.
Right.
I don't even want to get out of bed. I'd rather sit, smoke, play video games, watch some anime, fucking go eat some sushi and not do anything. That's just not how life works. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't want to be there, I'm not going to be like, hey man, you know, I got some, my roof is leaking. Nah, bro, I'm fucking tired and I hate drinking here because it's expensive. I'm gonna go buy a bottle of wine and go the fuck home because it's 8:46.
No, that's called adulting at its best, right there, bro.
And it's not personal.
Nah.
But I used to be the yes man. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna stay out the extra, go the extra mile, stay out late. I'm gonna go to everybody's event and not be mad when people don't come to my shit. Listen, you don't come to my shit, I'm not mad. Just remember that when you throw some shit, if it ain't gonna be fun, because at that point I'm just. Listen, I go to everybody's shit. I'm out 6 days a week. I crash Friday nights usually after work and I burn out, and Sundays I be an adult and do laundry and shit. The other 5 days I'm out.
Right.
So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad telling someone like I gotta go home.
That contributes to your success as well.
I've learned that too. Is that
because everything's relationships
and it's supply and demand, right? If everybody wants to see me perform, if I'm at 6 open mic nights. Why would you buy my ticket?
It's oversaturation.
It's oversaturation. And that's just good marketing. You can't constantly sell the same product all the time forever and just expect because people liked it once, they're going to like it forever.
Especially in a small market like Tampa. Tampa is not a big... If you're in a
Everyone knows
scene,
everybody, right?
If you're in a niche scene, there's not... You're going to do Crowbar so much. You could maybe do the Orpheum. I mean, these little clubs that pop up here and there, like White Lie at one point and so forth and so on. You could do...
Shit, damn, man. Rusty, you shouldn't have even said that. That bums me out, man. White Lie, First Chance, Last Chance... Orpheum moved. I mean, it's been rough. It's been rough for Ybor. It's been rough to see these businesses and pillars of the community just.
Bro, seeing the owner Crowbar when he went before. I was watching the music. I was watching the music. I was watching the news on the news.
Times is changing, bro. Take advantage of the blessings while you got them, because the money's coming and the gentrification has been happening and. It's not going to be long before we can't.
I'm kind of glad you saw Tampa post-pandemic, though, bro. Because, I mean, pre-pandemic. Because post-pandemic's different.
Of course.
Pre-pandemic Tampa and post-pandemic Tampa is insane.
Some crazy shit has
fucking insane.
I feel like
I still hate the traffic.
We're one of, in how Doctor Strange is like, I looked at 14 billion possibilities and I found the one that, like, we survived in. We were in the COVID version of that universe. Like I don't know who didn't carry Madame Zeroni up the hill and fucking who stepped on the crack. Like, we did some fuck shit and we got hit. Luckily, we were in Tampa.
Oh no!
Luckily, because my homies in New York.
Oh fuck that shit!
Couldn't go outside. We went to LA in December of 2020. I was standing in the middle of the road in downtown LA. Not a fucking person in sight.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Nobody in sight.
Yeah, it was just
Tampa was.
Different.
I mean, this was the Wild Wild West out here. We had
COVID for like a week, so fuck this shit.
If that, I mean, listen, I got that shit twice. That shit sucked.
I got
it
too. Yeah.
That shit was not fun. But we were able to do some shit. Mansion Music was 2021, bro. The restrictions that we had to think about trying to throw a big show with mad people. Meanwhile, they were throwing all these giant festivals and everything. You could put 10,000 people in a fucking patch of grass, but you can't put
very safe.
200 people in a room, right? Exactly. So we were able to make that work. And but yeah, pre-COVID, man, I mean, like I said, the contrast from Long Island to come here. My first hip hop show that I went to was Ella's. That's where I met D-Faz.
Nice.
Mike Mass and Lewis Jr. were performing.
Trying to do something with D-Faz right now, man.
It's the homie, man. I mean, Danny is the first. Danny's like the one of, if not the first person that I like really befriended out here.
Yeah.
But he was getting into the DJing thing, and I had just started getting into the performance
his
thing.
ear for DJing.
Oh my god! I mean, his
you can sit there and just
his
let
mixes,
him play.
his
like
blends.
hearing it. Yeah, just hearing it.
Yeah, shout out DFaz. He always gives me the work at NBA Jam. It's just good to see that he's become one of those go-to people to kind of curate a mood for a club or for a bar. He's a bartender as well, so you know he gets the culture, man. He knows Danny knows the sports, he knows the fashion, he appreciates like really what hip hop is all about, and he's one of the people who definitely helped me like get my shit together out here in terms of you know, kind of how you should be presenting yourself. And like, again, we're doing this because we enjoy it. Danny loves music. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell. Tell by the way he does this shit. So
let's get into Terminate real quick, man. Because number one, I'm a huge
love Terminate.
I'm a huge. Actually, people may not know this, which I don't know why you would. Such a random fact, but my birthday is when Ninja Turtles came out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's dope as fuck.
And when people realize too, is Ninja Turtles wasn't always what it is now. It was very darker.
Yes,
it was very. You know,
well, you got comics too, and that's another part of hip hop, right? Comics. Yeah, that's MFD. Sure. That's all. That's all Doom.
Absolutely, yeah.
I didn't grow up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this is interesting. So I did, but I didn't. Albert J knew it very, very well.
Yeah,
and the age difference a little bit there. You know, I'm not. Sure. I'm turning 30 next year, so very much. Yeah. I'm a 90s kid, but like I was 0 in 1995. That's when I was born. So like, it's interesting to see that when Wally dropped that beat tape, I just liked the music. I didn't recognize the samples when I listened to it the first time.
Crazy. Through. That's crazy right there because there's no emotional attachment to it.
But there were a couple more of the video games than anything else that I did recognize, but not really the movies and the TV show.
So you sonically just liked it.
I just liked it. And then Albert J was the one to sit me down and be like, yo, this is from this, and this is the intro to this, and this is when this happened. And I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy.
Okay, so Wally drops the tape.
I listen to every beat 150 times because I like almost every beat that Wally puts out.
Introduced to the concepts behind it. And then when it's like, yo, let's make this album.
It just made sense. And like there was such an aggression and a hero-villain vibe to it. And I was already in my rap villain bag. That was kind of like where I was living creatively, and I heard these beats and I was like, yo, we could go so stupid on this. And we just, same thing as Mansion Music, we did one track and then we did another, and then we were like, we ready to put this tape out? Actually, you want to know what's crazy? Because we knew when we discovered this that it was going to be a project, so it didn't take as long as Mansion Music did to become a thought. That was just us collabing, and we realized we vibe and we made an album. Wally put the tape out and posted on Facebook, anybody who wants any of these beats to rap over, let me know. Some people hit him up, but no, you know, people talk shit and then they don't execute or whatever, which is fine. I've done it a million times with beats. Me and Albert J were the only ones to record to the beats that he said were available. So we both picked a beat, and then Albert J sent me some shit. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I sent them some shit. And I was like, yo, you crushed this shit. And we looked at each other and we were like, we're making an album. And I couldn't think of a name for the album, and I was trying to think. I was like, what word has TMNT in it? And I was like, Terminate?
Oh, that's pretty dope. Okay.
And I just wrote it down on a piece of paper with the capital TMNT and lowercase everything else, and it was in order, and I was like, this is kind of crazy. Yeah. And then we picked a couple more beats, and shout out Lido, Good View, rapping on that. We got Wally rapping on that. Another kind of organic thing, but that was really cool coincidence-wise that we both picked a beat, didn't talk to each other about it, already had a project together.
Yeah. And
then when we realized we had that content already, it was like, come on, bro. Yeah. We gotta make this happen. I love that project.
I was at the album release. Was that Grow House?
No, that was Backroom.
Backroom
Tampa. That space is, to my knowledge, closed now.
Oh, for real? All that graffiti everywhere and shit. That's a shame.
The Grow House open mic, they had their last one there, and I don't know if it's going to still be accessible or still there, but it sounds like that is kind of the end of an era there.
That was a cool ass vibe.
Very, very dope vibe. I still am such a jerk. I never post the pictures after the freaking album releases and everything. I got to be better about my social media, but I'm going to be posting those pictures soon. Photo shoots and stuff that came out. That space, whoever really like put that whole thing together, the vision for that, I don't know if it was the owner himself or people, but
That is sad.
It's very, very cool vibe at Backroom.
Any more pet peeves in life, man, right now, besides people not being direct?
Listen, the drivers out here need to get their shit together, bro. No blinkers, just drifting into lanes all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Bitches FaceTiming their girlfriends while they're driving, not even looking at the road.
For sure.
Uber drivers going 700 miles an hour through the neighborhood. It's like, come on, bro. Like, I know where is a melting pot. We're all from everywhere, but I thought Long Island was bad.
Right.
And I thought LA was bad.
But it's always been like that. I've been here 20 years.
It's like
it's always been the bad
It's like
drivers.
everybody has beer goggles on.
Yeah.
And everybody's just driving
Probably half
down
of
an
them
acid trip.
are literally on beer goggles.
I can't fucking stand it, bro. And like, I worked for Enterprise out here, so I drove for a living. I was a manager, but like, I had to clean the cars, drive the cars, deliver the cars. I worked for Exotic, which was kind of cool. So I got to like deliver the Maseratis and the BMWs and the Caddies and everything.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful out here.
Mm.
It is bad. So Tampa, I love you.
Accidents run lives, man. People
The
don't realize
food's great.
that shit. What are your favorite spots? I was getting to right now. You being in Tampa now, going out so much. Where are some of your favorite spots to be at? If you got to go, if someone comes from out of town, where are you taking them?
Food wise, okay, I got you. If you're downtown, Urban Cantina, they got
incredible.
$15 for 5 tacos.
Yep.
Happy hour, you get yourself a Corona and get a shot of, I think it was like $6 shots of Patron or something. I mean,
yeah,
you can't beat that deal downtown tacos. El Chuso is crazy in more. Where is El Chuso? Like Central Tampa. El Chuso's crazy. If you want,
talking about a Colombian barbecue spot.
Yeah, bro, that shit is.
It's on Waters. Yeah.
Oh my.
It's on Waters and Lambright Slide. Yep.
I don't think it's on Waters.
Yeah, trust me, I know. I've been there late nights.
El Chuso. Okay, so yeah. El Chuso is insane.
That Waters area is little Colombia.
If you want something a little bit more upscale, obviously Ulele is. I mean, their food is unreal, and it's just a little more professional vibe in terms. But it's cool versus something like Gin Joint, where that's a speakeasy vibe, and you go there to take your business associates, or you go there to take your girl.
Yeah, anniversary type shit.
Yeah. Live music on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays at Gin Joint. Gotta check that out. They have the best octopus that I've ever had ever. It's a grilled octopus tentacle, and I love seafood.
Yeah.
That's probably the best seafood dish in Tampa. Period. That specific dish. They use a certain type of olive oil for that dish only. They don't use that oil for any other dish.
Get me in trouble, bro. I've been there, eat the octopus,
bro. That shit, I would buy 4 of them and eat that as a meal. That shit is like $20 a fucking tentacle. I'd eat $100 worth of that shit. It's that good. Damn, bro. King of the Coop. If you want some chicken, you know what I'm saying.
God.
If you want Asian food, Ybor Seoul. I just went there for the first time.
Yeah,
that shit is crazy. I gotta ask Kai and Albert J where Kai works. He's the bar manager at this Korean place by what's the university in that's like right.
University of Tampa?
No, not UT.
University.
Wait, is it UT? No, it is UT. No, it is UT. It's near UT. It's this Korean.
That downtown area.
It's like upscale, like Korean dining. Wow, I forget the name. I gotta look it up. My phone's over there. Right by UT, and it is out of this world.
Like we're like offer exchanges, like right there, like that area.
Damn, bro, I
fuck with Korean food.
I should call his ass right now.
You can call him to get the restaurant reference.
Okay, works. So we'll have an answer in 2 minutes.
How was the Nems concert, bro?
That was dope. Yeah, I got to dap him up. Nems and Mac Lethal. Mac Lethal almost died. He got on someone's shoulders and took a fall.
Yeah. Well, I saw. Yeah. Well, that's just part of his act?
I guess he raps on somebody's shoulders. He said in the many, many years he's been doing this, he never fell.
Yikes.
He said that was the most Ybor thing he could have done, which was mad funny. Nems killed it. Mac killed it. Asaru and Vern Sr.
Of course.
Opened for that. They just unbelievable as always. Yeah, man. Crowbar is the epicenter of the hip hop stuff that has to go on. So shout out to Tom for making that happen. I know there was some difficulties kind of making sure that came to fruition, but Tom takes a lot of onus for the people that walk through his door and for the culture and environment that he's curating. And it's just one of those hip hop things, man. It's just like, if you were there, you were there. If you're not, you're not. And Nems is an explosive ass performer, and he's just in your face and just like go fuck yourself. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're doing our thing vibes, and that was kind of like a really cool moment to be a part of. But you know, there's tons of shows that have been out here. I mean, Battle Rumble in and of itself was getting to see Mega Ran do his thing, and getting to see AJ Francis do his thing. It's just really interesting at Crowbar, the types of things you can see. I've been to hardcore shows and metal shows there that were just fucking out of this world. Punk rock shows, getting to see Bangarang at Crowbar. That's my favorite spot to perform at in Tampa.
You ever go out to ODS?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's just I'm on school hours. I'm on 8 to 5, Monday through Friday type shit. It's hard to get out to ODS sometimes, but when I do go, that's church. You know, that's where I get to see a lot of my hospitality people. I get to see Lulu and Indie Rock do their thing with the art and Stay Humble. Get to see Reed with his clothing. He actually made the shirt and the fatigues I was wearing for Battle Rumble.
Oh, we're okay.
So he made all of those clothing except for the Charmander shirt I was wearing. Had to bring out the nerd shit, of course, for the homies for Rel and for Mega.
Yo, how you like him? How many episodes you got into Cowboy Bebop? You started watching Cowboy Bebop, right?
I literally, bro. I put it on,
knocked out,
and then I got up to make dinner. And I didn't even get past the intro because I spent so much time talking to people on Facebook on whether or not we were doing the dub or the sub.
Right.
So by the time I actually sat down to watch it, I was like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go make fucking dinner. But I just finished Hunter x Hunter, which was unbelievable.
Yo, Cowboy Bebop made me fall in love with anime, bro.
Everybody tells me it's like the best thing to ever watch.
They destroyed it with like the live action. So
I heard
horrible.
Don't even watch it. I heard don't even give it a chance.
Bro, that's
fine.
Bro, these live actions, Death Note live action, disgusting. After seeing the Cowboy Bebop, I'm scared. I'm an Avatar fan. I'm scared, but even though I heard it's very good and people was giving me, good reviews on it, I'm terrified to watch like the live action of Avatar because they keep fucking it up. I almost cried, bro, when I saw the live action of Cowboy Bebop, bro.
Every single person that I talked to said that Avatar was. I haven't watched it. I just canceled Netflix, so I'll get it when it makes it somewhere else, or I'll just find it leaked. Everybody I talked to said it was unbelievably good.
All right, that brings me. I mean, again, I keep hearing. I'm fucking PTSD.
Listen, bro, I'm on Battlefront being re-released. I took this weekend off of most events and stuff just to like be able to play Battlefront and MLB The Show, which I haven't done for myself in a long time. I think I've been maybe 5-6 weeks straight of just work, going to events or the studio, or coming to the pod, or going over the bridge to go see my man Caleb Music and go record, hit the stew, get some beats. I mean, I've been in the streets, like miles and miles and miles and miles of footwork just put in, and I was like, I am not doing anything this weekend. I am playing Battlefront until my eyes bleed, and then I'm going to keep playing.
Good excuse.
You need that sometimes. I'm still a kid, bro. Like I'm never not going to have. And that game, particularly the fact that it's a classic re-release, that's my favorite video game of all time. Is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah. On PlayStation 2, I don't think they've ever made a better game in terms of replay value. You can play it infinitely.
Bro, I just flipped. I just passed because they don't use that verbiage anymore. Flip, but I just passed Metal Gear Solid 1. So I've spent the past 2 days, a day off doing.
It's been a grind. I mean, I play a lot of Rocket League.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Rocket League is fire.
So you're a nerd. You just don't watch wrestling, bro. That's the only thing.
I don't watch wrestling, and in terms of sports, like I don't like watch football.
Football at all?
I don't watch any football.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Never watched football growing up. Never really played football. I played basketball. I played baseball. I always liked hockey. I just, especially moving to Tampa, big hockey area. Long Island, not so much. The Islanders sucked when I was growing up, so everybody was a Rangers fan. Go to Madison Square Garden, go see the Rangers, or go see the Knicks when if you really wanted to go put yourself through that.
Hey man, they're looking good right now.
I mean, they're looking good now, but
it's a struggle for.
I'm glad I got to see Melo.
Carmelo Anthony errors wasn't that bad. I mean, compared to everything else, I mean, that was in your history up to that point. You know what I mean?
Don't bring me back.
I feel the pain of getting Amari and him getting injured. That sucks.
Yeah, but like, come on, bro. They never really had a chance.
Look, Amari got traded to the Knicks.
Against the Heat. They never had a chance against the fucking
He had like
Celtics.
26, like 9 and 5 when he got traded to them before he got injured.
When Jeremy Lin cooled off, that to me was like the biggest pain to me because he was going to be that Linsanity era. He was going to be.
But made a documentary about that shit, bro.
Yeah, it was the. In my lifetime,
documentary was interesting.
That was the most impressive run I've ever seen any athlete go on in that period of time of that couple of months.
And not being a star before that.
Right, exactly. Just coming out of Harvard and hooping. And
I think that's like a 2-day contract the first time he did it.
I don't know.
It was crazy.
All I know is he was doing unbelievable things. I mean, and there's definitely watching Derrick Rose. I paid a lot of attention to basketball back then when I saw Michael Beasley and Derrick Rose go 1 and 2 in the draft, and it was
talk about heartbreak, bro. Derrick Rose got injured.
Derrick Rose
from Chicago, bro. That's insane.
He's the scariest, like, potential athlete ever. I think an uninjured Derrick Rose could have been possibly the greatest basketball player of all time.
He's the youngest MVP for a reason. Yeah,
he was
strong,
explosive, bro. I mean, it was like watching Kobe and Vince Carter and Allen Iverson like all in one. I mean, he was just dangerous and terrifying. But I don't know. I lost interest in basketball kind of once the Warriors became. It was like just the Cavs and the Warriors back and forth.
Oh, you knew who was gonna be in the finals, yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a baseball fan. I played baseball. I've always watched baseball. Always watched the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, bro. So baseball will always be a part of our heritage. I just watch baseball, so yeah.
I hope Garrett Cole makes it back soon. He's out for a couple of months, but
you know what's very interesting though, since they added the pitch count. I was watching the postseason this last season. It's interesting to see how they how now that becomes a weapon. Racing has seen the sport evolve into getting a pitch count,
absolutely.
And then now they use it as a weapon.
It was much more of a weapon before. Stepping off the mound, picking people off 5, 6, 10 times. It was literally a mind game. Yeah. I think the problem with it now is they don't give the batter enough time to recover if there's an inside pitch. So if you have a fucking 95 mile an hour fastball thrown at your face, you psychologically, you can't physically see the ball. After 93 miles an hour, the human eye cannot perceive the baseball from that distance. It is invisible. But to have light flash before your eyes and have that object thrown at your face that quickly, it takes a second to come down from that. And that's, I think, where the pitch clock gets abused, or letting the clock run down, and then China almost gets to the point where it's on borderline on if you're on time or not. But in every sport, you're going to find a way to flex on. No,
I was saying it's just very interesting the involvement of the sport, because I watched baseball my whole life, and then seeing that being added and seeing now how much of the game. Yes, it's true. It was before, but now we know
they're ruining baseball. Though I mean, just the fact that they banned the shift, but you can still basically stand behind second base. I mean, they're trying to be relevant. And increasing the base size and everything. I like that as a safety feature. Yeah, because I mean, I hate.
It needs something, bro. You got to admit though. Something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
to keep it alive and it not go away ever. I mean, you got to do something. People who are not watching. I mean, me and you could watch baseball, right? But the fan base was the.
But here's another thing:
money off TV and shit.
Here's another thing too. You have 162 games. Stop making them so damn expensive. There's a reason that when you go to a football game, you're probably spending $300-400 because there's only 18 of those for your team. You know what I mean?
At home.
And there's only, you know what I'm saying? That is literally, that makes sense why people make such a big deal about it when you're tailgating and stuff. Like baseball, this is why the pitch clock is important and why the parameters, because there's so many games. You got to hop on a plane. The game shouldn't be 4, 5, 6 hours. And I love an extra innings game. I hate that the ghost runner rule where extra innings starting a runner on second, but you make the fucking beers $22. The hot dog is $18. Spring training tickets alone for the Yankees are $70-80.
Yeah.
They do split games now. You know about that shit? Check this shit out. They got 2 games going on at the same time in different locations. Different people from the team go to each game. So in one game you have Aaron Judge and Rizzo and Stan, and in another game you got guys you never even heard of playing, and they're charging the same price for the tickets.
That's insane.
What?
Yeah.
I don't care about the guy who's drafted 22nd. I mean, no offense to that guy. I mean, it's cool to see some of these guys.
Unless it's Derek Jeter, you don't care.
Make the ticket $30 and not $70-80. It's tough to go to a game when it's 3 p.m.
too, bro. Those 3 p.m. games, it's a struggle.
Well, now I think they're getting rid of. We're trying to get rid of blackout games. That was the biggest kind of kicker. You want to know why people aren't watching baseball? Because you can't. I live in Tampa. When the Yankees play the Rays, guess what? I don't have cable. I can't watch the game.
Oh, no, you can't watch on regular TV.
You have to go to the game or go to a bar that pays for cable.
Here, you should be able to fucking...
Or if you pay for an MLB network subscription, I should be able to watch any game I want. But
word.
That's why people aren't... Why would you watch baseball? All of that to sit there and watch somebody you never heard of.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I keep
Play
up
the
with the
game.
Cubs, but I really don't watch baseball till October.
I just happen to love baseball. I watch games that are on my team because I
Yeah.
love baseball. But
No, I'm
I
saying
don't blame
like
people
I'll
for not
keep
watching
up
it.
with the. I'm talking about like actually fan wise, keep up like who's in rotation, how the team is doing.
Oh yeah,
Try to watch
I got
a couple
updates on my
games.
phone. I know every injury.
But bro,
that
I don't
happens.
really watch baseball till October. Until postseason comes, I don't really sit down and watch baseball unless it's like a rivalry game, like unless it's like the Yankees in Boston, unless it's like a certain shit. I don't watch no game until October. I'm saying, but it's very rare I sit down and watch a baseball game.
That is like what I watch in lieu of TV shows during baseball season. Okay. I watch my TV shows off season, and during baseball season, when I come home, I either run the game back.
You love baseball, bro. That's
because like
you love baseball.
I
love baseball.
I've been playing baseball video games since I'm 6 years old.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So since 2001, actually technically 98, but I
remember Slugfest
got the game later.
First one.
Listen, MVP Baseball 2005 with Manny Ramirez on the cover is the greatest baseball video game of all time. 100%.
We got no disagreement here.
But I've been playing baseball games my whole life, so it's almost the opposite because I love playing baseball video games so much. Really, just MLB The Show. That's really, I think, the only viable option at this point.
Yeah.
It comes out. It's supposed to get shipped to my house like right now.
Word.
They put the Negro Leagues in there, so Satchel Paige is in there, Hilton Smith is in there, Rube Foster, like all like the goats. They got some merch that came with the game too, so I'm gonna have a hat type shit. Like I like baseball. Listen,
you know, I like.
And there's numbers. What other sport is 30% of success rate? You being one of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
You know, you have a 30% pass rate or completion rate in football. You don't have a job.
Yeah.
You know, I guess maybe hockey. I don't really know hockey numbers, but I would imagine that 30% is probably pretty good. Yeah. Like 3 in 10 shots go in. That'd probably be psychotic, actually.
That'd be insane.
Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know hockey numbers.
I don't think that.
But I know baseball. I know my baseball stats, and I know my numbers. And
are you doing the Hard Rock betting thing?
No, listen. I have the worst luck. If I bet on it, they're gonna lose. If I bet that they're gonna win, they're gonna lose. And if I bet they're gonna lose, they're gonna lose. So I've gambled twice in my life. I'm up $300, and I'll never bet another penny.
Word. So I mean, we went over Scuds and Key. We went over your more notable works. Have fun in Orlando. Rip that shit down.
Thank you. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be dope.
Is there anything else that you do want to share? How is the merch coming along? How are the other aspects of being in this game? How are those things coming? So you got a good team around you. I think you said that.
Man. I mean,
I saw the merch when you brought it out at the album release. I think you did a
couple sweatshirts.
You did what's it called? Shuffle. You brought some shit to Shuffle a couple times, I think.
Speaking of Shuffle, shout out Lee Kenobi, DJ Dillman. We are throwing Lee Kenobi's album release at Shuffle.
Nice.
Hosted, kind of curated, organized by me from a like event management standpoint, but I'm also hosting and performing, so kind of just running the night. But Lee has an unbelievable album that's going to come out called Everything You Wanted. Yeah, he's just good people, great person to be around, vibes. And I think he's really contributing a very necessary component to what Tampa artistry just kind of needs, which is just like enthusiasm and a little bit of swag. I feel like in the last couple of years, I got to be honest, other than a handful of really dope people, I'm not impressed and we're too nice. I think that we need to bring booing back. Seriously, knock on wood, I've never been booed. I have had people not clap. I have been met by perfect silence, not because they were so impressed, but because I guess they didn't really know how to deal with me. It was when I was new here, but we need to need to tell people that they're trash, bro. I got to be honest. I benefited so much from people coming up to me when I just started and told me that I was butt cheeks at rapping. And
I think it comes with that, bro. It's just there's so much niches of hip hop.
It's too nice, bro.
I think that
everybody wants a participation trophy. Participation trophy.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is that needs to, if you're in a certain scene. Look, for example, me and you know each other, but I don't know you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we're cool, but I don't know you.
Right.
So if I see a situation arise and I come to you, unless you're very, welcoming person like that, but if I try to give you real life advice, I mean, depending how I come off, you might think about it, but I have to have that access. I have to walk in a relationship with you to have that access.
You need to know how to pick your battles, and there's a time and a place. Like, you might, if you're hosting an event and you see that somebody's not holding the mic right, it might not be a good idea to say in front of the whole room.
That's a great example.
Hey, you need to do it this way. Maybe when I finish my set or you finish your set, I might pull you aside and be like, hey, by the way, dope set. Love what I heard what I could understand, but you were covering the mic so much and I couldn't fucking hear you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe ease up on the mic a little bit. So
That's a good example. What I was gonna say is that there's so much different niches
like
that sometimes that
I just think some of the content is corny. I think that people are very pandering. I think that people are not real to themselves.
sure.
I think that they're trying to be accepted and they're trying to be trendy and get on TikTok and make something that's like cool and kind of like relatable and catchy. But like I can hear when somebody's rapping, especially when somebody's rapping over their vocals, that there's not conviction, that you don't believe what you're saying. You're kind of just like, now if you just like making music and you're fun and this is a hobby to you and you kind of want to just be like more like a content creator and you're an entertainer, cool.